If every country is in debt, who is the money owed to? The answer is more disturbing than you think, because the moment you ask this question, the global financial system starts to look wrong. Every government on Earth talks about debt, debt ceilings, debt crises, debt bailouts. Trillions owed here, trillions owed there. But debt is not a natural force. Debt is a relationship. It means someone owes, and someone is owed. So if every country owes money, logic demands one simple thing. Someone must be on the other side. But when you look closely, no one is standing there. At first, the answers feel comforting. Governments owe money to banks, to investors, to pension funds, to foreign countries, to central banks. But then the illusion breaks. Because banks are in debt, pension funds are underfunded. Foreign countries are also drowning in debt. Central banks create money, but even they operate inside a system built on borrowing. The lender is also the borrower. The creditor is also the debtor. So the question comes back, louder than before. If everyone owes money, who actually owns it? To understand this, we must forget everything we were taught about money. Because modern money is not what most people think it is. It is not something saved up over time. It is not backed by gold. It is not limited by physical reality. Modern money is created the moment debt is created. When a government issues bonds, new money enters the system. When a bank issues a loan, new money appears. Not taken from somewhere else. Created. Digitally. Instantly. Backed only by a promise that it will be paid back later. Debt does not borrow money. Debt creates money. This is the foundation of the modern global economy. Money exists because debt exists. And without debt, most of the money in the world would vanish overnight. That alone should make you uncomfortable, because it means the global economy is not built on wealth. It is built on promises. Promises that tomorrow will be bigger than today. Promises that growth will continue forever. Promises that future generations will be able to pay for decisions they never voted for. This is why paying off all debt is impossible. If all governments suddenly paid their debts, the money supply would collapse. Businesses would fail. Trade would freeze. The system would suffocate. Debt is not a bug. Debt is the engine. And engines must keep running. But here is where the system becomes truly disturbing. When money is created through debt, only the original amount is created. The interest is not. That interest must come from somewhere else, which means new debt must be created to pay old debt. This creates a permanent shortage. There is never enough money to pay all debts, plus interest at the same time. Someone must always fall behind. Someone must default. Someone must lose. This is not accidental. It is structural. Countries don't pay off debt. They roll it over. Old debt is replaced with new debt. Interest piles on interest. Numbers grow larger, but nothing is ever resolved. Stability is maintained by motion. Stop moving, and everything collapses. This is why economic growth is treated like oxygen. Without it, the system suffocates. Now zoom out to the global level. Poor countries borrow to develop. Middle-income countries borrow to compete. Rich countries borrow to maintain lifestyles. Everyone borrows. Everyone owes. And everyone is trapped inside the same expanding loop. So again, who is the money owed to? It is not owed to a country. It is not owed to a hidden group with a secret vault. It is owed to the future. Future workers, future taxpayers, future generations who inherit the bill without inheriting the benefits. Debt is time-traveling money. It allows the present to steal from the future. And the further the system goes, the more it depends on people who are not yet born. This is why debt is political. Why inflation is tolerated. Why currency devaluation is quietly accepted. Inflation reduces the real value of debt. It is a soft default. a way to break promises without saying the word failure. Deflation, on the other hand, makes debt heavier. It increases the real value of what is owed. That is why governments fear deflation more than anything else. It exposes the lie. So inflation becomes the pressure valve. Prices rise, savings lose value. Wages lag behind. And most people don't realize what's happening. They just feel poorer. The cost is transferred downward and forward. Downward to ordinary people. Forward to future generations. This is why financial crises are never really solved. They are postponed. Each bailout is a promise that tomorrow will be better. Each stimulus is borrowed time. Each rescue creates conditions for a bigger collapse later. And yet, the system continues, because there is no alternative that doesn't involve pain. History shows this pattern again and again. Empires don't collapse because they run out of resources. They collapse because their systems become too complex, too leveraged, too dependent on belief. Rome debased its currency to fund its armies. Spain drowned in silver and inflation. Britain lost its financial dominance under the weight of war debt. Every empire thought it was different. Every empire was wrong. The modern global economy is more advanced, more digital, more interconnected. But that also makes it more fragile. Confidence travels faster than ever. Panic spreads instantly. Trust can vanish with a headline. This is why markets react to words, not actions. This is why central banks fear perception more than reality. This is why belief is the most valuable asset on earth. Because when belief disappears, money disappears with it. So when people ask, if every country is in debt, who is the money owed to? The honest answer is not comforting. It is owed to a system that can never be satisfied. A system that must expand or collapse. A system that trades stability for speed. And the most disturbing part is not that this system exists. It is that most people don't know they are inside it. They feel it when prices rise. They feel it when savings shrink. They feel it when the future feels heavier than the past. That is the real debt. Not numbers on a screen. Not bonds or balance sheets. But the weight carried by generations who never agreed to the deal. And until that changes, the question will remain unanswered. Because the truth is, the money is owed to everyone, and no one